Today I'm going to show you guys how to use an amp in a box pedal. A real amp in a box pedal, because there are a lot of pedals out there that say they're amp in boxes, but they're not really amp in boxes. They're just pedals trying to mimic an amp, and you can only use it as a pedal. For instance, the ZVEX, Box of Rock, the 59 sound, those are generally regarded as amps in boxes, but they're not, they're just pedals. What I have here are two real amps in boxes, and that's the Origin Effects Deluxe 61 and the Deluxe 55. Now, when the Deluxe 61 came out, it was called the Revival Trem, and people had a lot of complaints about it because it was dark and it was gainy and it colored your sound a lot. That's because it was an amp and not just a tremolo pedal. It's a recreation of 61 Deluxe. I think that's a brown face Deluxe with a biased tremolo, and they call it a Revival Trem. They later renamed it to Deluxe 61 just to avoid confusion, because it's not a tremolo, it's an amp. Same goes for the Deluxe 55. This doesn't have a tremolo because it's a Tweed Deluxe recreation from a 55 Fender Deluxe. So this is just an amp in a box. The beauty of these pedals is that you can use them with your pedals, but also as real amps. So you can use just this as an amp. So the first option is using them with your amp, and that is what we're gonna do now. That sounds like this. So, guitar into amp. Both of these pedals have post EQs, which lets you, tune it so it works well with your amp. This has a flat EQ1 and EQ2, and this basically has the same thing. So 1 flat or 2, and you tune it with a post EQ knob. Now this is the Deluxe 55. Beautiful. So now this just works as a normal pedal. And you can use it as a drive pedal, or just a pedal that makes your tone more beautiful. But let's increase drive. And tone also works like on a real Deluxe amp, because if you crank the tone, it gets gainier as well. That's a very addictive tone. So in a setting like this, it kind of gets you the Tweed style sounds, or in this case, a Deluxe 61 type sound. with the tremolo. So the other option is that you send this to a very clean and flat sounding power amp connected to a guitar speaker cabinet. Because these are amps, they don't have speakers. So you can look at it as like it's a head, an amp head. And you need a speaker to make it work. And that can either be a real speaker connected to a very flat and clean sounding power amp, or it can be a cabinet simulation. So that is what we're going to do next. There are several pedals on the market that do cabinet simulation. Here are a few of them. And basically you just plug in one of these pedals into that, and after that you can go directly to a mixer or an interface to record or play live or whatever. And then this is your entire amp, and you can put pedals in front of it or after it. Like if you have a delay, you put it after, and it kind of works like an effects loop. Now, a device that does that for me is the Boss Tube Amp Expander. I use that with my amps. I plug that in, then it gives me cab, mic, and room simulation. And it also has an effects loop. If you plug this into the effects loop return of the Boss Tube Amp Expander, it works exactly like one of the pedals I showed you before. Because then the signal goes directly into the cab sim, and from there on it goes into the interface. And that sounds like this. More drive. Some harmonic tremolo with the Jam Pedals Harmonious Monk, and the Mythos Oracle with a little bit of delay. Isn't that gorgeous? So yeah, there is no need to buy huge amps. You know, this works very, very well and reacts to pedals like a dream. Let's try the Deluxe 61 in this setting. This should be a little brighter. So that is option 2. Option 3 is going straight into an interface and running a digital plugin in your DAW, like Logic or Cubase or Ableton or Studio One, whatever. Run a plugin there that does cab simulation, and when you get one of these pedals, you can download the cab IR stuff from the Origin website for free. So you get cabs for free. That is awesome. Digital cabs, that is. But you can also use something like the Blackstar St. James plugin, turn off the amp in there, and then you can just use the cabs and the room mics from that. So yeah, those are basically the three kind of options you have when you have a real amp in a box pedal. And yeah, this makes it so much fun and really easy to have a lightweight and portable rig. Yeah. Love it. Okay, so questions down below, please, in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you next time. Bye.